What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman. As we get closer and closer to Avengers Endgame, only the best theories will be left standing. One of my favorites put forth by myself and a couple of other theorists alike, as well as hinted at in a couple of plot leaks earlier last year, is that the Incredible Hulk would end up wielding the Infinity Gauntlet. Today, I'm not only going to break down the entirety of that argument, but I'm also going to offer what I think is absolute proof that the Hulk is going to end up wielding the Infinity Gauntlet in the end of Avengers Endgame. And guys, it was staring us in the face the entire time. First, if you could grab the subscribe button, we're giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, as well as a whole slew of other Marvel related stuff. All you have to do, hit the subscribe button, leave a like and a comment on this video, then hit the notification bell, and if you want, stick around to the end of the video. I'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. So as I said, this was a theory stemming from earlier last year that the Hulk would end up wielding the Infinity Gauntlet. There were a couple of pieces of evidence offered back then that I'm going to go ahead and dismiss right now. The first one is that there's comic book precedence for it. You guys know here at the channel, that's one of my favorite things to look for and something that I consider to be a linchpin in any good theory or argument. However, when it comes to people wielding the Infinity Gauntlet other than Thanos, there is a laundry list that is a mile long. Nebula, Captain America, Iron Man, Black Panther, the Incredible Hulk. So simply because there's comic book precedent for the Hulk to wield the Infinity Gauntlet, or rather he actually wielded dual Infinity Gauntlets, I'm going to go ahead and throw that out the window because there's so many people that have, and based on that you could say Black Panther was going to wield the Infinity Gauntlet in Avengers Endgame as well. The second thing we can go ahead and throw out right off the bat are any and all plot leaks that indicate that he does so. Guys, I've said it just like my very last video that seemed to also implicate some of the parts of this theories going back to the very first plot leak I did. None of it's confirmed, none of it's fact, and it's more likely fan fiction than it is reality. So go ahead and dismiss comic book precedents and any plot leaks that indicate the Hulk is going to wield the Infinity Gauntlet. Today's theory, both what I put forward myself and now this new evidence, is constructed based on logic and the films alone. I think it needs to start with the idea that in order to undo the snap, there needs to be an anti-snap, or rather a second snap. Rather, all the Infinity Stones need to be involved in undoing what Thanos has already done, and since there's precedent for the gauntlet to harness that power and simply do it through a snap, an anti-snap seems most likely. Now, in order for an anti-snap to take place, and to take place via the hands of the Avengers, of course they'll need to defeat Thanos. And I think it's likely that the denouement of this movie will include and start with that snap after the final battle has culminated and they have defeated Thanos. In order for there to be an anti-snap, they would have to obtain an Infinity Gauntlet. I think the most logical answer for this is one of 2 things. Either number 1, the damaged Infinity Gauntlet that Thanos still has is not too far gone or too far damaged that they can use it again to do an anti-snap. Now, will this anti-snap end up destroying the Infinity Gauntlet for good? Can it last through 2 snaps? Probably not. You guys saw that thing at the end of Infinity War and it was pretty busted. I don't even know if it can make it through another snap. That's why a lot of people have theorized there will be a second Infinity Gauntlet. If you remember, during some of the earliest shots in the scenes of Nidavellir, they made sure to show us that the Infinity Gauntlet mold still exists, which is a strong piece of foreshadowing, making sure we understand that if a new Infinity Gauntlet needs to be forged, that it wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility, and in fact would be done there. If we follow my logic, that in order for there to be an anti-snap, they either need to obtain the Infinity Gauntlet from Thanos and or forge a new one for themselves. At the end of the day, someone is going to need to put that Infinity Gauntlet on, wield it, and undo the snap. But let's go ahead and earmark this part of the theory, as I believe we're all in agreement in order to undo Thanos' snap, there needs to be a second and or rather anti-snap take place, and jump back to my original theory that's some now 6 months old, where I stated that Infinity War began specifically with Hulk losing to Thanos in order for Avengers Endgame to end with Hulk defeating Thanos, thusly not only completing the full circle storytelling in both parts of Infinity War and Endgame, but also ending Hulk's arc stemming all the way back to Thor Ragnarok. Now, at the time, we were a little light on details. There have been several confirmations since then, including the reveal that we would be seeing Professor Hulk in Avengers Endgame. This is obviously an important detail, as Hulk would need to be Intelligent Hulk in order to wield the gauntlet, giving the Incredible Hulk the Infinity Gauntlet is probably a recipe for disaster and a way to end up with the entire universe erased rather than undoing the snap. So now knowing with the confirmation that we will have Professor Hulk in the next movie, that only adds fuel to the fire that he would be capable of doing this, and it would make sense for it to complete the circle storytelling. But what if we dismissed all of this evidence and again only went back to the earmark and only specifically hearkened to the fact that when all is said and done and Thanos is defeated, someone is going to have to put this Infinity Gauntlet on and snap, or rather anti-snap, the entire universe back? I've been using screenshots from the Hulk versus Thanos fight at the beginning of Infinity War on purpose for about the last 2 minutes of this video, so that when I made the point that the Hulk is the only one who's big enough in order to put that Infinity Gauntlet on, then it's quite logical that he's the one who's going to wear it. Yeah, there's the circle arc storytelling, and there's him being able to actually withstand the pressure of the stones, and it makes sense from a point of view of completing his arc over the last 3 movies, but simply straight physics, the gauntlet is simply too big for any other Avenger. Now, in order to better make my point, I painstakingly went through almost every frame of Infinity War where the gauntlet is in shot with a regular sized person, and this one is the best one I could find in order to use some perspective to show you just how big the Infinity Gauntlet is. In this photo, we have a Peter Parker for scale, and as you can see very clearly, that Infinity Gauntlet is the size of his arm. His hand would barely reach where the fingers begin on the gauntlet itself. And that's the same for the rest of the Avengers. The only person who's big enough to wield this gauntlet and undo the snap is Hulk himself. Again, aside from all of the other evidence in that theory, the biggest piece of evidence, the proof if you will, is that he's the only one who's big enough to wield it. And that's just simple fact. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Was it this easy the whole time? And does it make sense that they're actually going to have to do that? Is there anyone among you who thinks that they're somehow going to bring back half of the universe without there being a second snap or an unsnap? And if so, let me know that in the comments too. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Okay, we're giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros still. One at the 150 and one at the 200,000 subscriber mark. All you have to do, hit the subscribe button, leave a like and a comment on this video, then hit the notification bell, because the more videos that you like and comment on, the better chance you have of winning. My name's Michael Roman. This is Everything Always. Thanks for checking out the channel. If you've been with me since the beginning, I can't thank you enough. If you're finding my channel for the first time, stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.